our guest for the day is here, Joanne McNally. Good morning.
Good morning, Aidan. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm really good.
I'm so happy you're here.
Well, you know how I slipped through the net here.
Well, why? What do you mean?
Because I was listening to
Yes.
you.
Yes. Tell everyone what
Tell
happened.
everyone.
Tell everyone how you were listening to me.
Yeah. So basically, I have a habit of, what would you call it? Thinking the worst in the morning.
Yes.
And then I popped you on. I didn't know you were on.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's Grimmy, he's on the radio. And I find you so calming. You've saved me a fortune on beta blockers. I haven't touched one since you've been on. Honestly.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you should be on all the time. I want a 24/7 Grimmy radio channel.
Joanne!
I love it. You're a joy to listen to.
I can't believe that I'm calming. That word has never been used around me.
Calming, yeah.
Calming. I'm zen.
I was going to say wholesome, but that's because you're doing breakfast radio.
Yeah, wholesome.
Yeah.
And calming.
Wholesome and
calming.
calming.
And zen.
Yeah.
Well, Joanne, that is a real honour.
Yeah,
really is.
Honestly.
Thank you.
And then I texted you and I was like, oh my God, you're such a joy to listen to. And you said, come in. And I said, absolutely.
Absolutely. I said,
Like
Joanne was like, I've got now to promote, but I will come in.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing. Apart from yourself. We promote yourself.
Yeah.
Now, we were saying this morning that I see you as comic first, podcaster extraordinaire second. I see you as like comedian and podcaster.
Yeah.
What do you say Joanne McNally is? Do you have to ever do this? Do you ever have to?
I would say comic.
Comic.
I would say stand-up.
Yes, same.
Stand-up first. That's how I ended up doing a podcast, because I put everything into stand-up and I'd nothing in the pipeline as such. Like, I'd no sitcoms or anything, and everyone else had something in the pipeline and I was like, I've nothing. So when all the COVID stuff happened, I was like, oh my God, I need to put something in the pipeline. And that's how the podcast started.
Oh, what? Is that how it started?
Yeah, because ultimately I just wanted to do live performance. I genuinely was thinking, as anyone would, sure, there's no point doing a podcast. The market is so saturated. There's no room for any podcast. And then around the same time, I'd started therapy, because obviously, you know, we're all a basket case at times.
At times.
Yeah,
that's life.
Yeah, and then we heal, and then we move on, and then we basket again.
Then we
for
forget and we have to go back.
We go back to doing our shadow work.
Yeah, I say, I don't go to therapy. I feel fine this week.
That's
not how it works.
I'll be in on Monday. See you Monday, doctor. And so I was doing a bit of that, and then my therapist kind of disappeared. Like, so by modern standards, he like ghosted me basically. Yeah. And so we were having a meeting about this podcast, and we were just, do you know that kind of preamble on Zoom before anything's really kicked off and you're waiting on someone else and you're making small talk?
Oh yeah.
And they said, any news? And I went, my therapist ghosted me. And then they were like, let's call the podcast that.
Let's call the show that.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's where it came from.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
So, you know, me and Annie Mac do a podcast, which is
indeed.
like...
Sure, I was on it.
Oh my God, you came on it.
Wow.
That's showbiz.
Wow, I live for you. I wake up every morning, I listen to you, I live for you.
Ever heard of Annie Mac?
He's like, oh my God, we've Laura Whitmore in with us this morning. It's Angela Scanlon. How dare you?
No,
I
know. Sorry, it's early.
Remember me?
Do you remember that?
Remember I was on
Do you know what though? We've only had 3 guests. You, Charlie XCX and Sam Smith.
Oh my God.
That's it. So I should have remembered that you've been on it.
I'm quite honoured.
True story.
True story.
Yeah, true story. But when we were starting the podcast, we were like, what should we call it? And we were like, let's call it something that's not, you know, actually what it is. Let's not be prescriptive. Let's do like a my therapist ghosted me. It's just like a thing about something that happened.
Yeah, so you're not kind of shoehorning yourself into anything.
So we were going to call it, like, we were like, what about a song that reminds you of your childhood? So our producer, Will, was like, what's a song that reminds you of your mum and dad? And I was like, Steamy Windows by Tina Turner.
That's pretty racy.
So we were going to be called Steamy Windows, and we decided, no. But the WhatsApp group's still called that.
You're sidetracked, aren't you?
We are.
Yeah.
Which is...
I remember because I was on it.
Yeah, you were on it.
I was on it as a guest. I was one of the 3 that you had.
Yeah. You, Charlie XCX and Sam Smith.
Sam Smith, yeah.
That's good. That's a Glastonbury headline
covering.
next year. Hey, I want to talk to you about the other thing that you do, which is really brilliant, is the Avril Lavigne podcast, which is what you were on Sidetracked for.
Yeah.
Now, this story, for people that don't know, is insane. Truly, truly insane. And the theory is that was doing the rounds. Yeah. And I'd never heard this.
I was so shocked that you hadn't, because you're a muso in my eyes.
And I love a goss as well, and pop music and pop culture. And I'd never heard the hot rumour that Avril Lavigne had been replaced by a person playing the role of Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
It's a bit like me doing the Chris Evans Breakfast Show.
A little bit.
Yeah, someone was playing the role of Avril Lavigne in her life.
Yeah.
And you made an investigative podcast series about it.
Who replaced Avril Lavigne?
Yeah.
It was like, it's one of the most, I love a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
I just love a bit of dirt.
Yeah, same.
Do you know, I love a YouTube hell.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And
love.
you kind of like lose days of your life. And the most fun, we didn't want to do anything serious. We didn't want to do an actual conspiracy theory like QAnon or anything. Do you know what I mean? Nothing heavy. Just wouldn't have really suited the tone, I think.
Yeah, you've been like, lol.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ha ha ha. So the Avril Lavigne podcast, or the Avril Lavigne conspiracy theory, was the most fun one on the internet. Because, I mean, ultimately, you know yourself, like, it's on, like, you know, no one really, you know.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep, exactly. But the kind of theory is that she didn't like the showbiz world, and she either checked out herself or she went into something else, and the music industry, because they're, you know, these kind of evil monsters. Yeah, we're like, no. And they're so greedy, and they're like, we have a money machine here. So they just went, okay, if you're out, you're out. We're going to replace you with a woman called Melissa.
Yes.
And but there's genuine. The podcast was more about how does a conspiracy theory start? Where does it come from? How does a rumor get traction like that and take over the internet, which it did for a couple of years,
totally,
and has again now since the podcast.
Yeah, now I'm in back reading it all.
And now Avril's out defending herself again.
Oh, is she? She did Glastonbury, didn't she?
She Glastonbury. Like, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know.
Was it her or did Melissa?
This is the thing.
It was good. Don't know. Who was it? Who was it?
I loved doing that podcast. We have a series 2 now coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, mega. Different person.
It's not about Avril anymore. Sadly, we have to let Avril go now.
Yes.
It's about surveillance. So I'm starting to record that next week.
Oh, wow.
Series 2. Yeah.
Oh, mega.
Yeah.
Love. And I saw yesterday you were doing a photo shoot. For your tour.
Yeah, my new tour poster.
So when is the tour happening?
I mean, I haven't written the show.
Artwork
is key.
Yeah, definitely do a nice photo shoot before the show's written.
Priorities.
Yeah.
I feel like if they put it on sale, it might be the impetus I need to take pen to paper. But that's going to start, I think the new tour is starting around September, October, but it'll start with previews and works. I know.
September?
No.
It's August.
No, so I'm doing it's works in progress.
Right.
And then I think it'll kick off properly then next spring.
Oh, you got ages.
And then I'd say it'll go, the plan is to do it for about 2 years, I think. Because I'll take breaks. I'm not going to do what I did last time, which is do like show after show after show. I'm going to try and not die this time.
Yeah, have a little break.
Yeah, I'm going to have a little break.
But comedy, I think, is so difficult because you've got, an expected audience. Like, they're going to be like, this, I better laugh, better be funny.
Yes.
I think the expectation is high from a comedy-going audience member. And also the touring is hard because it's so relentless. Like, comedians go on tour, like you say, for ages, for like a year, 2 years.
Yeah, but the benefit is I love it. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I do. I love a petrol station sandwich. I love a flight. I love a gin and tonic on a flight. Like, I love the road life. Like, I'm feral.
Do you go with anyone? Do you have a tour manager?
Now I have a tour manager. Yeah, but the last tour I did, the Prosecco Express, the guy who opened for me, Garode Farrelly, he's like one of my best friends. So it was kind of, he was a joy to have him around. But now I'll have a tour manager and Garode at certain times. So yes, you're never on your own. You're on your own at the very start of your career, but then hopefully when you sell some tickets, you can afford to bring someone with you for moral support,
for just a vibe as well.
A vibe,
because I feel like I'm better when I'm around better people.
Of course,
like if you're around funny people, you get funnier.
Yeah,
so do you have
100%.
to have a tour manager? Like, do you have to audition them and make sure that they're funny?
I've had some, but some of them you don't really need. You just want them to be able to deal with venues, take that weight off yourself.
Yes.
But ultimately, they're like personal trainers. You end up telling them your whole life story, and you end up, and they become like your therapist. Do you know what I mean? Or your hairdresser. Like, it's that kind of relationship.
That sort of relationship.
Yeah.
They're
it's
like,
intense.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's here again. Joanne talking about herself. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I like to pretend to care again.
Just get on the stage, Joanne. How's your weekend looking, Joanne? What are you up to? Do you have the Friday feeling?
Very quiet.
Right.
Very quiet.
Because you're off the drink.
I'm off the booze. So I'm trying to find out how to enjoy life. I'm taking up a
full stop.
Basically. Sober life. I'm like, so this works how? So the weekends are long. Did you know there's 12 hours in a day?
What?
I didn't know that.
How long have you not been drinking for?
I had no idea. 2.5 weeks.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'm writing a book at the moment.
Yes.
And the deadline is looming. So I was like, okay, it's time to take this seriously. So I cut the booze.
When is the deadline, please?
So I've about 12 deadlines. So they're kind of, okay, the next deadline, please.
Yeah, then they get more
intense.
They're more intense.
And then they start knocking on the door.
Yeah. What's the book?
Yeah, but they're actually being really sound. But so I decided to cut the booze. So now I'm trying to fill my time. So I've started Pilates. I'm doing a pottery class next week.
Oh my God, who are you?
I know. I'm like doing an online course, and I have to fill my time. I'm sure I'll relax into sober life eventually, but at the moment I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm running everywhere. By 12, I'm like, how is the day still going?
We've still got so much to do.
So
I'm so in that camp right now.
Are
Pilates, yes. Online course.
Yeah.
Yes.
What, do you know do you know that Harvard has all these? You can do that. I mean, they say online course. I mean, you're not qualified to do anything, but they're good fun.
What can you do, like brain surgery?
I didn't. Yeah, you're like, I could do that.
Architecture.
Just like a big game of operation
Oops,
for the
the
weekend.
bridge collapsed. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Oops.
Are you actually going to do an online course?
Well, I've been doing a Spanish course.
Duolingo.
No, not Duolingo. Well,
Rosetta Stone.
I've been doing it with a over Zoom with a teacher.
Oh, nice.
But I keep cancelling. Because when it gets to everything else, I'm like, what can I drop from today? Because it's now got too busy.
Do you know
so
one
I'm
of my,
like, oh,
do you know
lo siento, Spanish, goodbye.
Do you know one
Adios.
of my favourite things about you, or why I feel close to you, is because every time I listen to you talk, I don't know if you noticed this, but you mention a plan that you made that you've since cancelled. Do you notice that you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very similar to that.
We have good intention.
100%.
Do you get easily distracted?
I just, the minute I make the arrangement, I feel overwhelmed that I have to do it. It's wild.
Same. Because I don't like it when someone says, let's get dinner. Are you around 3 weeks on Friday? I'm like, oh, the pressure. I don't know. When I'll be. I don't know.
Yeah, edge your seat stuff.
Yeah. So you're enjoying doing the Pilates and the new healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, I am. Her voice is really high.
Yeah. We talked about Pilates on the show the other day because I thought it was quite easy. I thought you did it as a stretch after working out. No. It's really hard.
It's really intense.
It's really hard. I don't know why in my head it was like, oh, it's just like passing like a big inflatable ball around. Easy. It's hell.
It's
it was
really
so
tough.
hard.
Yeah, but have you not seen the Pilates instructors? Like, they're
they look
ripped.
good. They look like statues.
They're ripped.
Hey, does Vogue do Pilates?
Do you know what? I think it's the only thing she doesn't do. I think
Everything else, yes.
I think she does floor Pilates, whereas I got very generously got the gift of a reformer Pilates bed.
Oh my God.
Hashtag gifted.
In your house?
In my house. I know, what a waste. So I was like, I really need to learn how to use this bad boy, because otherwise it's going to be a very expensive clothes horse.
Yeah.
So I started doing classes. So Vogue does not, but she has her own like fitness app and everything. Like she does is fitness.
Yeah.
She is fitness.
Because she's going to be on Virgin next week. She's looking after Ryan's show.
She's got abs in her face.
She's
all day in her
ripped.
body. Yeah.
I always think maybe I look quite good, and then I'll see Vogue and Spencer in the newspaper, and I'm like, oh,
I'm disgusting.
God. Yeah, and look at the state of them.
I know.
They really work out, don't they?
Imagine having to do photo shoots with her.
Oh, they really do it, don't they?
Oh my God.
They really do it.
They're a protein family. They're a whey family. Protes.
Squats. That'll be at the next Olympics, them two.
Even the kids are ripped, you know? It's gross. Can't compete. It's unnatural.
It's unnatural. Have you got into the Olympics this year? Have you watched?
Well, similar to yourself, again, great intentions.
Yes. Get
excited.
excited.
Like, I'm going to sit up all night, not realising there's really no time difference between here and Paris. I'm going to set an alarm, be up at 3 a.m. You're not going to see it.
They're all asleep.
Yeah. It's not Tokyo. But of course, absolutely nothing. I take it in by general osmosis.
Yes.
I know Simone Biles is flipping around in the sky all week. And do you know what my real obsession is? I'm obsessed because I love a bit of love and a bit of romance.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Olympic Villa vibes where they're all hooking up in there in the Olympic Village.
Because they all go. There's a lot of athletes. They're all in the prime of their lives.
Oh,
they're working out. They look like Vogue and Spencer.
They're there to...
And people are going to be falling in love.
There's going to be Olympic Village babies.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, and there has been.
Do you think?
Yes. Not this season yet.
Not
Obviously,
yet.
that's not how the biology works. But it has happened before.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, that's quite good. Where'd your mum and dad meet? The Olympics.
The Olympics, just casually. Can you imagine being one of the people working in the canteen?
Oh my God, getting the goss.
Oh my God.
Getting the goss, just eyeing everyone up like, oh, he's with her now.
All these hotties, just rows and rows of them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow, I like that's what you're into.
That's what I'm
from the
into.
Olympics. Who's getting off with those?
Who's hooking up?
I got told today, because I watched the canoe slalom yesterday, which I never knew was a
Right.
sport. And it's just so into it.
The canoe what?
Slalom. So they go down like white water in a canoe, and then they've got to like hit certain things and like go round. It's mad. Anyway, there's one today, which I can't remember the name of. Help me out, guys. Canoe something. Where they are loads of people in a canoe dropped from a height into whitewater rapids, and then it's a race. I was like, that's good.
So that's their kind of 1, 2, 3 go. They're just like thrown off the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
No, wouldn't be for me.
Oh,
now.
I'm into that one.
No,
I was going to say this weekend of our sober weekends, we could
try
do that.
Yeah, we could try it.
Yeah, we used to drink, and now we just do canoe from a height.
We just canoe all the time.
Just who we are.
The synchronized swimming. Sorry, that fascinates me. Or did you see that poor guy, that diver? I can't remember where he was from.
And he did the belly
and then he
flop.
belly flop.
I know. It does. No shade.
The pressure.
The pressure, because you've trained for your entire life,
I know.
and then you've done 4 years since the last Olympics, and then you dive off into a belly flop. You'd be fuming with yourself.
Because you're like, what's the worst that could? When you're trying to talk yourself down, what's the worst that could happen? That is kind of the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah,
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think will he? Yeah, it'll be fine. I just worry the trainers are like strict, aren't they?
The who?
The trainers.
The trainers?
Like the people training the divers.
Oh,
and
yes.
Yeah.
They're terrifying.
Yeah, like imagine getting out of the pool like you've done a belly flop.
I know.
Like, oh, no.
Like if your one on Dance Moms is so scary and she's training kids, can you imagine what the adult trainers are like training at? Terrifying.
I've done a belly flop at the Olympics.
Can you imagine ringing your parents? Oh.
How did it go? Did you get gold? No.
What's the opposite of gold?
I don't know. I've got a sore belly.
I know.
Sore belly.
Poor guy.
Joanne, thank you for coming in to see us.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
I've been sent away.
Yeah, Ryan's on in a minute.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll stay for Ryan. He won't mind.
Do you want to stay for Ryan?
Yeah, stay for Ryan.
Stay for Ryan.
I'll stay for Ryan.
Here he is. Get him in.